Hello everyone. Today we will examine organizations as political systems, and Morgan starts the chapter immediately by providing us some definitions of political structure within governments and organizations. So an autocracy is absolute government where power is held by an individual or small group supported by control of critical resources, property or ownership rights, tradition, charisma, and other claims to personal privilege. The term autocracy may have negative connotations within our society due to various factors, but such thought does not always have to be the case. An autocracy can produce an extremely effective government or organizations if the leader in such a system is good, the same way that a democracy can produce effective results if the people are good. A bureaucracy this photo might be what one traditionally thinks of when they hear the word bureaucracy. It's rule exercised through use of the written word, which provides the basis for a rational legal type of authority or rule of law. Senator Warner's offices, it could be argued, are part of a larger bureaucracy. The office handles cases from many constituents. We constantly deal with privacy release forms that is the result of the Privacy Act of 1974, a political decision. And until those forms are signed and submitted to us, we can't really discuss the case with any agency. And so the office might be perceived as slow, which is a typical criticism of bureaucracy. A technocracy is rule exercised through use of knowledge, expert power, and the ability to solve relevant problems. Fun fact about technocracies, there was actually a movement in the early 1900s in America wherein the movement attempted to replace politicians with scientists and engineers, though that didn't really work out. Co-determination is the form of rule where opposing parties combine in the joint management of mutual interests, as in coalition government or corporatism, each party drawing on a specific power base. Representative democracy is rule exercised through the election of officers mandated to act on behalf of the electorate and who hold office for a specified time period or so long as they command the support of the electorate, as in parliamentary government and forms of worker control and shareholder control in industry. This structure is one we know well in our government. Everyone, it can be said, is represented, and efficiency is perhaps emphasized more than a direct democracy, because powers are delegated to elected officials or experts in the field. And direct democracy is a system where everyone has an equal right to rule and is involved in all decision-making, as in many communal organizations such as cooperatives. It encourages self-organizations as a key mode of organizing. So next we will look at organizations as systems of political activity, and to start I will play a video from the HBO miniseries Adams. Essentially in this video the point Abigail Adams conveys is that politics encompasses all aspects of our life in one direct or indirect way or another. This political impact can in turn influence how an organization operates, which then shapes everyone's life to potentially influence the political climate. Autocracies may potentially have the most significant and efficient impact on the lives of people, but it can also be one least responsive to the lives of collective individuals, where a direct democracy can have potentially the opposite effect. So there are three key terms that Morgan discusses in the chapter. Interests, which are predispositions embracing goals, values, desires, expectation, and other orientations and inclinations that lead a person to act in one way rather than another. Task interests, connected with the work one has to perform. Career interests may be independent of the job being performed, and extramural interests act in relation to both job and career. Now, conflicts arise when interests collide. These conflicts can be personal, interpersonal, or between rival groups and coalitions, as small as a difference of vision between two co-workers or as large as two political parties competing for the implementation of their own vision. Now, power is the medium through which conflict of interests are ultimately resolved, and there are multiple sources, Morgan actually lists like 14 of them, of power. Here's a video of Frank Underwood in House of Cards demonstrating, oftentimes in somewhat concerning terms, what he believes is the best way to exert influence. Now, Underwood's philosophies could be described as Machiavellian in nature and perhaps misplaced given the type of government he's working under. It almost seems like he would prefer to work in an autocratic system. However, I chose to show you the video not so that one can model his philosophies, probably because that might not be the best idea, but rather because his application of power is easily observable. Ultimately, Morgan states that the power of an organization or actor puts out relies fundamentally on the interests one wants to serve, who benefits from them, and whose goals are being furthered. Essentially, the end decisions can be autocratic, but almost all power in organizations are, at least to some varying degree, delegated in a pluralist sense, whether it be managers, supervisors, coordinators, secretaries, or executives. An individual within an organization may have some aspect of control within their job. Thank you very much.